This conference will now be recorded.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, are we good to start?
Yeah, Ravi, you can carry on. I think all the sufficient members are joined.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, hi. Before getting into the actual session, I'd like to have quick round of introductions on so that we understand each other. And if you have any doubts in the middle of the session, feel free to stop me and ask me any kind of questions that you have. Okay, firstly, let me introduce myself. I'm Ravi Kumar. I have 14 years of experience into the field of HR, and where I've started my career as HR executive for one of the manufacturing industries, and then and moved to SAP HCM implementations after getting 3 years of experience into a domain. Moved to SAP, and I was doing SAP HCM implementations for 5 years. Then from there, I moved to SuccessFactors, and it's been almost 5 years that I'm into SuccessFactors. And in these 5 years, I've handled modules like Employee Central, Compensation, PMGM, and RCM. Though I've worked on all these modules, I'm certified in EC, PMGM, and Compensation, and my core areas are EC and Compensation. And I'm into teaching from last 8 years. I've trained more than 100 students. So that's the quick intro about me. Just if you can introduce yourself and your experience so that I have an understanding whether if you have got any experience into SAP implementations or HR domain experience, or if you're fresher to the industry, so that I can tune myself from where I have to start, or if I have to explain anything in deeper. Just quick round of introduction. Yes, you are.
I'm Kumar. I'm just a
Yeah.
fresher guy. I don't have any previous experience on any SAP modules, but I
Okay.
learned SAP SCM by Pratap sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Hi,
So,
this is Harish, and I have 8+ years into the HR domain.
okay.
And,
Okay. Okay, Harish.
Hi, this is Sriram. Even I have 10 plus years of experience into HR payroll, and I'm new to SF.
Okay. Okay. So most of you must have been worked on SAP, or at least on the HR domain. So what I know, what my feeling is, you don't need to have any experience into any of the applications, be it SAP or Oracle, because if you have the process knowledge, the process would be the same for all the applications, be it SAP or Oracle or any product in the market. Now, whatever that we do, or whatever a HR does in the organization, that's same across the globe. Like hiring an employee, transferring an employee, or terminating an employee, this remains same. But the way that we do, or the screens, the user interfaces would be different. The process of the application remains the same. Okay, so you need to have an understanding of the process. You don't have to have SAP experience or any other application experience for getting into SuccessFactors. Yes, go ahead. Tarunya, Sheikh Atik. Mhm.
6 years experience. So just currently working with a couple of projects for data migration with the EC side. So
Oh,
to learn more of the EC.
okay, okay. Tarunya, would you like to introduce yourself? No, that's fine.
I'm Mohammed of K. I'm from Ernakulam. I didn't have any previous experience in this field. I have
Okay,
completed my graduation on BCom degree.
okay, okay. Okay then. I hope all of you can see my screen. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many of you know? Let's have this session as interactive session. No, instead of me speaking everything. Okay. If you can pitch in and let me know what you know about the topic, it would be interesting. Okay. Now, how many of you know what is a cloud computing? Or what is cloud computing? Anybody? None? Haven't heard about cloud computing? Before actually getting into success factors, let's see what is cloud computing. Nobody knows? Yes or no?
No, not really.
Not really. Muhammad, Shiva, at least people who are working on SAP, you should be knowing.
No. Hello, sir.
No. Hello?
Hi, sir. Sorry for the interruption. I'm Tarunya, sir.
Yeah, hi Tarunya.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, cloud process means we can access from anywhere.
Yes, to some extent, it is correct. You can access anywhere. Even SAP or any other application can be accessed anywhere if you have VPN. Now, the cloud computing, okay, if you look at the definition of the cloud computing, it is the practice of using network of remote servers hosted on internet. The database is hosted on internet and we access the database using internet or through URL to store, manage and process the data rather than using a local server or a personal computer. Now, any application or any service, so how do you access? Let's take an example of SAP only. So how do you access SAP? If you have to work on SAP, you need to have SAP GUI installed in your system. Okay, in your PC or in laptop, yeah, you should have SAP GUI installed. And that GUI, you can connect it to the database or to the server. And all the data that you store or that you process, that gets stored in the database. Okay, which is in the physical server. That means if you are working for any of the client, you should have a server in place where the main SAP is installed, and each of the systems that use the application like SAP, let's say you are 10 of you working in a HR department. Now all the 10 of you would be accessing the SAP using the SAP GUI installed in each of your computers, and each of you know whatever work that you have done in your PCs, that gets stored in the database which is present in the physical server, so that each of you can access the data the others have used or the others have created or others have stored. Okay, let's take an example of of a simple example of of your mobile. Now everybody must be using mobiles. Okay, some must be using the Android mobile, some must be using the iPhones. Okay, so if we have to install any application in your mobile, what is the first thing that you need? Any mobile, what is the first thing that you need? Now I want to install a gaming application. I want to install a game.
So that has to be downloaded from Play Store.
Yes, that has to be downloaded from Play Store if you are using Android mobile. Okay. Now, before downloading, you should have enough space to download that application, right? If the application is of 100 MB or 500 MB, you need to have that space. Without space, you cannot install the application, or you cannot download the application. Right or wrong? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the storage. That means any application, if you have to use any application, the first thing that you need is the storage, be it cloud computing or even application which is hosted in the personal computer or in mobile. You need to have the enough storage, first thing. And secondly, that application should be developed in one of the platform. Now, if you're using Android mobiles, where do you go to download the application? You go to Play Store. If you're using iPhones, where do you go? It is the App Store. So why you're going to Play Store and App Store? Why Android? If you're using Android mobile, you're going to Play Store. Can we not go to App Store? Or the iPhone, if you are using an iPhone, can we not go to Play Store and download the application? No, because these two are developed on two different platforms, right? So we need to know what is the platform that the application is built. Now you will have similar application. You can download Facebook from Play Store, we can download Facebook from App Store. The functionalities remain same there, right? The Facebook functionality or the WhatsApp functionality, what we download from Play Store or App Store remains same. Maybe the UI would be different, a bit different, not completely, a bit different because of the features that we have in different platforms. So secondly, for any application, we need the platform. When you develop the product, you need to understand on which platform we want to develop. And the third is your application. Most of the applications that we use are ready to use. You just download it from the Play Store or App Store, you install it, you use the application. Right. Now, based on these three layers, the cloud service models have been divided into three. First one is infrastructure as a service, IaaS. Second is your PaaS, platform as a service. Third is software as a service, SaaS. Now in infrastructure as a service, client may need only the infrastructure. Some clients say that we don't need any platform or we don't need any application. We'll have our own application built on our own platform. We just need some space. Instead of buying this space, now there are two ways of getting this space. One is you procure a server on your own. Now, I want to develop an application. What I do is I need space. Either I can procure a server or I can buy or I can rent that space. I can get that space for rent. Okay, that's the infrastructure as a service. How many of you have heard Amazon Web Services, AWS? No? Haven't heard? AWS.
I heard.
Yes. That's what they do. Amazon Web Services. They just give the space or the storage that you need. infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure is provided as a service. Second is your platform as a service. Now here, client would require both infrastructure and the platform. You need both the infrastructure and platform. That means the storage and the platform. In infrastructure as a service, client decides the platform. But here, whatever platform that you subscribe for, you'll be using that platform. How many of you have heard force.com? No one?
I heard CRM.
Yes, it's Salesforce actually, not force.com. Now that's the application. Salesforce is an application which is built on force.com. A CRM is a ready to use or a software as a service. You subscribe for it, you start using it. If you have subscribed for force.com, you can build your own application. It can be for HR, it can be for marketing, it can be for sales, it can be for anything. Even Google has got that service, Google Apps Engine. Okay, so in the platform as a service, you'll get both storage and the platform, and you have to build your own application, your own screens, your own, whatever is the requirement, you have to build your software. In the third model, you have software as a service. The examples of your software as a service are SuccessFactors, Workday, or a Salesforce. Now the application is ready to use. You just have to pay for the subscription, how many users you want to use or how many users you will be hiring. I have 10,000 users, then you need to pay for 10,000 users and start using the application. Maybe you have to configure the system as per your requirement. Since these products are built keeping in mind the global requirements. Now it can be built, it can be, the application can be used for any client across the globe. Now you may have lot of features, you have lot of features in SuccessFactors or in Salesforce, but what you need to configure that application. Now I have 40 plus actions or 40 plus events in SuccessFactors, like hiring, transfers, promotions, rehire, data changes, reclassifications, terminations, suspensions, paid leaves, unpaid leaves. So you have 40 plus actions. Now what you need or what you want to use, you have to configure them. Rest you can leave. Okay, in all the software as a service applications, you just have to configure the application based on your requirement. What do you want to use the application for? How many features do you want to use? Now it has got features like position management, org chart, dependent management, benefit management, time off. So what you want to use the product. So you have to configure as per the requirement. Now if you look at the picture, the examples of each of the service. Infrastructure as a service, Amazon Web Services or the VMware. These are the examples. Platform as a service, you have Windows, Azure, Force.com, Google Apps Engine. These are all the platforms. And software as a service, you have Google Apps, you have Dropbox, you have Salesforce, you have SuccessFactors. These are all the examples of each of the model. Any doubts here? No doubts?
Yeah, good to go.
Good to go. Yeah. I have asked a lot of questions when I was learning SuccessFactors. When I first attended the demo, even I have learned from somewhere 5 years back. I had a lot of questions in my mind. I don't see any questions. That's fine. Two things. If you're understanding, that's good. Or no, don't feel anything. Like, it can be a silly question, or it can be anything that you have in your mind. Just speak out or ask me. I am free to answer. Okay, don't hesitate, because it's a new application, it's a new technology. So when you're learning, learn each and everything. Okay, yeah. Now let's look at, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so regarding that Windows Azure. So what is that means? Windows Azure.
That's one of the platform where the Windows has built. Now you can have your own applications built on Windows Azure platform. That's the platform. Now in detail, I'm not sure, but what we can do or what all can we do? You ask me anything about SuccessFactors in detail, in depth, yeah, I can answer, because these are not these are all the platforms which are available in the market, where if you want to develop your own application, these are the possible platforms that you have in the market. Now you can either go through the force.com. Now every product has got its own advantages and disadvantages, so you need to analyze what you want to use. Okay, what application you want to build, and how do you want to use it, and what are the services that these platforms or any of these service providers are giving you. Okay,
Thanks. Yes.
yeah. Now coming to the benefits of the cloud, why one should go with the cloud technology, what are the uses of cloud computing. The first one is productivity anywhere. Since the database is hosted in the server and we access it through URL, it is like your Gmail. Now, what do if you have to access your Gmail? Go to www.google.com or gmail.com and then open your email with your user ID and password. Can you only access Gmails from PCs? Can we not do it on our mobiles or tabs? We can, right? We can access our Gmails even from mobile. You can have your Gmail app installed. Once you log in, okay, every time you don't have to input key in your user ID and password. You can open your Gmail, right? So if you have some files on your mobile, you can store them either on your mobile or you can store them on your Google Drive. The advantage of having the files or folders in your Google Drive is you can access them from anywhere, not only from your mobile. You have a movie in your mobile and you have copied it to your G Drive. So can you access it if you don't have your mobile? Yes or no? No idea? No idea of Google Drive? Haven't?
We can
Hello?
access
Yes. How do you access it?
either through web or
Yes.
maybe app installed in it.
Yes. If you're using a mobile or a tablet, you'll have the app installed. Or if it is on your PC, you'll be going to the web. You'll access it through URL. You open your Gmail account, open your G Drive, and access it. Now, if you have some files on your mobile, so you can copy them to your drive. You open the drive in a PC or any laptop. Just open your drive and copy them from your drive to PC. Okay, that means the files what you're accessing are stored in the cloud. Where is your drive? Where is the space? The space is in cloud. The G drive, now you get a 15 GB of space. Every time you subscribe or every time you open a Gmail account, you'll get 15 GB of space, right? This 15 GB of space you can use to store the data. Now, if you download an application and you copy them onto your drive, or you have downloaded a movie of maybe 1 GB or 2 GB, and you copy it to your drive and you delete from your mobile, what happens? It gets stored in your drive. It is not occupying the space of your mobile. It is occupying the space of a drive. Out of 15 GB, you will have 13 GB because you have copied 2 GB movie. Right, that 2 GB movie you can download it to any of the system, be it PC or a laptop or a tab. Right, that means you're copying or you are storing the data in the drive. And the first advantage of having it is the productivity anywhere. You can access it anywhere. Tomorrow, if you don't have your mobile in your hands, even then you can, if you're connected to internet, you can still access the files that you have in your drive. That's the advantage of having the cloud computing application. SuccessFactors is one of the examples of cloud computing, and the application can be used from any corner of the world. Maybe you're working for one of the clients of US. You can still work from Australia, you can still work from India or Dubai or China or Japan. Sitting anywhere or any corner of the world, you can access the application of your clients. That's the productivity anywhere. Second is your offsite data storage. Now the data that you maintain, that you process, it won't get stored in your PC. It gets stored in the database which is hosted in internet. And you will be able to access it even the SuccessFactors can be accessed from your mobile. You have an app in Play Store, just type SuccessFactors app. You'll get SuccessFactors application. You just download it and you can access from your mobile as well. You can approve your leaves, or you can look at the org chat. You can look at your information. You can do all the activities from your mobile itself. Okay. Third is no IT maintenance costs. Now, if you're not going with cloud computing, if you're going with the application which is hosted in the physical server, you need to procure server. Okay, you need to procure server and somebody should be looking after it. So that means you should have a dedicated person to look after your server. Whereas in cloud computing, you don't need to procure server, or you don't need to recruit or hire any person to look after your servers. Disaster assistance. Now, if something happens to your physical server, it is your responsibility to fix it. But in cloud computing, there is no question of disasters or maintenance parts. It is the service provider's responsibility to keep the server always up. If something happens to the server, it is their responsibility to provide you the backup. Okay. It is always up, and lower cost of ownership. Just because you're not procuring any server, you're not hiring any persons, you don't need to have the IT people to look after your servers. You don't need to have dedicated space for your server because it is hosted in the internet. So obviously the cost incurred would be lesser when compared to the other applications, and easily upgraded. Every application that we use needs upgrades, right? Now in your mobile, you must be getting the upgrades on WhatsApp or Facebook. So every time you get upgrade, you see some new functionalities. Why do we upgrade? Because of the new features. Now, similarly, even in cloud computing or in SuccessFactors, we get these upgrades every quarter or every half yearly. Now, these upgrades contains the new features like any new feature introduced in the product or the existing features. If you have any bugs in the existing features, those are fixed. Okay, if you have identified some bugs in the product in the features that you are using, okay, that can be reported to SAP, and SAP would be fixing that either immediately or in one of the upgrades. Is it clear? Any doubts here? Yes, no, no doubts.
Yeah, no, Ravi. We are good to go.
Okay, now what is SuccessFactors? SuccessFactors is a cloud computing application. Now, if you look at SuccessFactors as a company, it's a leading provider of cloud-based HCM operations or HCM applications. Okay, if you look at the SuccessFactors as a product, it's a cloud-based HRIS application. HRIS meaning Human Resource Information System. Now, what is the role of HR in any organization? Anybody? This you should be knowing. If you are a HR, what do you do? What is your role?
Accountable for people, process, and policies.
Exactly. Okay. In detail, if you have to talk your responsibilities as a HR, you start with hiring an employee. Okay. Anything and everything that is dealt with the people. You hire an employee as and when required. You may have to transfer the employee or promote the employee, or you may have to fire the employee. So all this is done by HR. Okay. So whatever is related to the employee. Now, if I am an employee, if I have to book my leave, I want to apply for a leave. What do? I log into the application, I apply the leave. Now, we have some approvals for the leave. Somebody should be approving your leave. Now, who is that somebody? Maybe manager, maybe HR. They have to approve. So as an employee, I apply leave from the SuccessFactors application. Okay, now it can be auto approved, or it can be approved by a manager, or it can be approved by a HR person. It goes to them and they'll approve or reject. That's secondary. As an employee, I apply leave. I log into application. I look at now before applying leaves, I will look at my balances, what leaves I have. Now, my company has a policy of giving the leaves of casual leaves or sick leaves or earned leaves. Now, every year I get these leaves. So I go and look at the balances that I have. Now, let's say I don't have casual leaves and I only have sick leaves. What do? I apply for a sick leave or an earned leave. Now, where is this data coming from? So you, as an employee, when you log in, you'll be able to see your own information. You'll be able to access your information. You cannot apply leave you cannot apply leave for somebody else as an employee. Maybe HR can apply, or maybe manager can apply, but you cannot apply somebody else's leave. You'll be accessing your own leaves, or you'll be accessing your own information, whatever data that we have, be it personal information, education details, qualification details, any of the details, any of the personal details or the employment details. Okay, so all this data is processed in SuccessFactors. Okay, now SuccessFactors has got a lot of modules. Employee Central being the core of the SuccessFactors. When I say core, whatever data that is stored for the employee, be it personal information or the employment information, everything is stored in, processed in Employee Central. From Employee Central, the data can be processed in performance management, in learning management, in compensation, in any of the modules. Now, all the modules. You see modules like goals management, performance management, workforce planning, recruiting, compensation, learning management. So these are all the modules that are available. Now, clients can go with any of these modules, with or without Employee Central. Most of the clients, 90% of the clients, they go with Employee Central and with any of the modules. And it is not mandatory that everybody has to go with Employee Central. They can have their master data in one of the existing applications and can get into SuccessFactors for any of the talent modules, like only recruitment or only performance management or only compensation or only learning management, or the combination of these modules. One client can go with one module or the combination of modules. Most of the clients, 90% or 95% of your clients, you see the Employee Central along with Employee Central. You can also have the other talent modules.
Ravi, can these modules can be implemented independently, or they have to go through only through Employee Center?
Now, it depends on client to client. Now, if you want to have, as a client, you want to have all your master data in SuccessFactors, then you could go with Employee Central first. Now, once Employee Central is implemented, the other modules can also be implemented parallelly, but the data has to flow from Employee Central to that module.
Okay.
Okay. And it is not mandatory that every client has to go with Employee Central. They can still have the master data maintained in the legacy system. Legacy system is what they are currently using it. Let's say I am using SAP and I want to use compensation module or performance management module in SuccessFactors. Yes, it is possible. You have to integrate SuccessFactors with SAP. The data has to flow from SAP to SuccessFactors and then from SuccessFactors to SAP. Let's say I want to use performance management. What is the use of performance management? You do your appraisals in performance management. Now, if you have to do the appraisals, you need to have the master data. Who is the employee? Who is the employee's manager? The relation is maintained in SAP. Okay. Now, employee, let's say HR executive is reporting, he or she is reporting to a HR manager. This is maintained in SAP. Now, the data has to flow from SAP to employee central before you release the performance management form. Okay, what is the designation of the employee? What are the roles and responsibilities of the employee? What are the goals of the employee? So all this is moved from SAP to SuccessFactors if you're using only performance management module. Now in performance management module, you'll be doing all the process like your creating the goals, filling your goals, filling your objectives. Okay, the quarterly review or half-yearly review, whatever is the process, you'll complete the process in the SuccessFactors, and the final appraisal or the final rating has to be pushed to SAP. So this thing can be done. You need to have an interface which connects SAP and SuccessFactors. Now data can flow from SAP to SuccessFactors or from SuccessFactors to SAP. So I've just taken an example of SAP and SuccessFactors. It can be any application, be it Oracle, even it can be integrated with Oracle. The data can flow from Oracle to SuccessFactors and SuccessFactors to Oracle. Now, each of the modules, like performance management, you do the appraisals. Recruiting, you source the candidates, you hire the candidates. Learning management is used to training your employees. JAM is social collaboration. Workforce planning. Employee Central being the core of all the modules. Now, for all these modules, be it performance management or recruiting or LMS or compensation, we need, the first thing that we need is the employee data that we get from Employee Central. You hire employees in Employee Central, you process the employee data in Employee Central, and this data is pushed to the other modules. Okay, that's your Employee Central. Any doubts here? No doubts? Now the course consists of 24 sessions. The first 4 sessions will be of theoretical. Okay, when I say theoretical, you need to know what is SuccessFactors, what is Employee Central, what are the URLs that you need to know, what are configuration workbooks, what is certification, what is Learning Hub, what is Partner Edge, what is help.sap.com, what do you do with it, what is Launchpad. So you will learn all these basic things in the first 4 sessions, completely of theoretical part. Okay, and from there on, the 20 or 25 sessions what we have, they are all practical. So each and everybody will be getting the instance access or the system access for 2 months for your practice, which can be used 24/7. Okay, you can log in, and you can log in from anywhere and practice. So every day we'll have 1 hour of session, 1 hour of practical session. We'll go through the process and we configure that in the system. And every day you'll be getting assignments. Next day you have to come up with your assignments, or you have to come up with your doubts if you have any. We'll clarify them and we'll move on to new topic. Okay, so you have a lot of topics like how to hire an employee, how to process the foundation data, how to manage the MDF data, how to create generic objects, or how to import the data, how to maintain the employee data, how to configure workflows, business rules, how to configure the permissions, how to set up the system, how to have the themes designed in the system. So you'll each and everything related to Employee Central will be covered. Okay, at the end of the sessions, you'll be assisted with the sample resumes. We'll assist you in preparing your resumes. Okay, and if you want to do a demo project, that also will be providing you. Any doubts here? Should be having. Certification.
No, Ravi.
Yeah, certification is a must for getting into SuccessFactors. Any aspirant who want to get into SuccessFactors, you need to be a certified consultant. So I'll explain you what do we have in certification, how to do the certification, how to keep your certification, how to pass the certification, how many questions do we have, or what is the process for certification. I'll explain you in detail. No doubts. At least now you should be having some doubts. I'll pause here for any questions that you have. No questions?
No, Ravi. No question.
Okay.
Hi, Ravi. Kiran here. Hi,
Yeah,
Ravi. Sriram here. Hi.
Yes, Sriram.
So, do we have a certification available for Employee Central as well?
Yes. THR 81 is the code, exam code for certification. Now,
Okay.
each and every module, like Employee Central time off has got separate examination. PMGM has got separate exam code. Compensation, LMS, RCM, onboarding. For all these modules, we have certification code certifications.
Okay.
So once you subscribe for the certification, you'll be getting 6 attempts, and the certification costs you 40,000. That is for the SAP charges. You can get into training.sap.com. You have to pay for SAP. Once you subscribe for your certification, you get 6 attempts, and in these
All the
attempts can be used for any of the modules.
okay.
Now, once if you fail in the first attempt, you can use the second attempt for the same module. You fail in second attempt, use it for third. You can use third attempt. Now, for one module, you can use maximum of 3 attempts.
Okay. So total out of 6 attempts, let's say if I clear in first attempt Employee Central, so the remaining 5 attempts can be used for other modules, or is that closed?
No, you can use it for other modules. You'll
Okay.
have a time period of 1 year, 365 days. Now, from
Okay.
the date of purchased, you'll have you can access the certification hub for 1 year, and in this 1 year you can use the 6 attempts. If you don't use, or let's say you have you have done 2 certifications, Employee Central and PMG, and you have 4 attempts. If you don't use them in that year, they will get lapsed.
Okay.
Okay, you're left with only 2 certifications.
Okay, so thanks for that. And so the next question, I've been working on this SAP on the payroll, the different country payrolls from past 10-12 years of experience. And I would like to know how come, because Employee Central is the one relevant to payroll. In case if I want to migrate it to SF, how relevant it is EAC is the only one domain required to migrate, or do we need to go with other domains as well?
Only Employee Central is enough.
Employee Central would be enough, right?
Now, so whatever that you are doing in the employee self-service, ESS or MSS, everything you can do it from the SuccessFactors.
Okay.
Okay.
So Employee Central is the place where we can maintain the employee data, and that can be accessed anywhere. Even if a SAP would like to call to that data, we need to connect to the Employee Central. Is my understanding correct?
Yes, exactly. Now, whatever that you are doing in PA30, PA40, PA20, okay, and ESS MSS. Now, if employee has to log into SAP, ESS MSS, they have a URL and they have to log in. Now, they should have user ID, username and the password, right? Now, they don't have to get into SAP application. They can directly get into ESS MSS. But they should have the relevant data in SAP, right? You should maintain the user ID somewhere in 105 or some info type. Okay. But here in SuccessFactors, we don't have this backend and front end. We only have front end. So when you log in as a HR, it depends on the role that you are logging in. Now I'm a HR. When I log into the system, I can do hire, I can transfer, I can promote, I can do any of the process because of the permissions that I have. Now when I log in as an employee, I can see only my data. That is controlled through permission. Everybody will be logging into the same URL with their user ID and password.
Okay, got it. And I'm a bit aware of this HR replication issues and all. So that entirely are different to the Employee Central, right? Because HR replication is the place where if something goes wrong with the data, so that we need to fix as like a support consultant.
Yes.
Yeah. No, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Any other doubt?
One question. So what is
Your voice is breaking. Can you be a bit louder? Is this Kiran?
so I mean to say
Yes, Sheikh. Atik, tell me.
Certification. If I am having the certification or if someone is not having the certification.
No, I didn't get your question. Can you come again?
I
Sorry for
mean
that.
the benefits of the certifications.
Yes.
What are the benefits of the
Benefit.
certifications?
Now, any interview that you face on SuccessFactors, the first thing they ask is whether you're certified or not. If you're certified, the process will continue. If you're not certified, if you say you're not certified, no, they may no. For each and every implementation, you need to have certification. Without certification, nobody is going to hire you. There are some companies which hires people, and before getting into the projects, you have to do your certification. You have to clear your certification.
Even though domain experience will not help, right? So certification is mandatory. Let's say we are on SAP payroll from past 6 or 7 years. Even that experience will not work. In case if I want to migrate to SF, it's mandatory to have certification to that particular domain.
Yes, that only helps you. Your domain experience or your SAP experience will only help you for the process knowledge. You need to have certification to work on SuccessFactors. Okay.
Yeah,
Now, if it is
got it.
implementation, yes, it is must. If it is support, maybe they can no excuse. But But for each and everything, even for implementation and support, when companies they hire, they'll definitely look for the certification. Certification is not that difficult. You follow the classes properly, you will pass in the first attempt. I'll assure you that or anybody who's taking this course will pass the certification in the first attempt. The pass
So one
percentage.
certification is enough, like EC certification, that is enough. Only one.
Now, technically speaking, to have to get into the projects, one certification is must. Now, basically, we have in SuccessFactors we have two different systems. One is called provisioning, and second is called instance. Now, what you see here on the screen is instance. Now, anybody can log into instance, be it the end user, consultant, admins, anybody can log into instance if you have user ID and password. The second system that we have is the provisioning, where you actually the initial part is done in the provisioning. Now, what client needs from SuccessFactors, what all modules they want to implement, Employee Central, PMGM, compensation. Now, these things are enabled in the provisioning. Within these modules, again, within Employee Central, you have a lot of features like position management, dependent management, benefit management. So you will be enabling all the features that are required for the client in provisioning. You'll just enable or disable. You don't do any configuration in provisioning. You'll be just enabling the features. To get into provisioning, you need to have a certified ID. Okay, so only the certified consultants can log into provisioning. If you are not certified consultant, you cannot log into provisioning. Now the initial process for each and every client, the first thing that you do is you get into provisioning, you enable all the features that are required, and then you do the configuration in instance. To log into instance, okay, you don't have to have a certification. As an end user, you don't need certification. You just need to have user ID and password, which can be created. But for getting into provisioning, yes, certification is must. So any implementation project starts with the provisioning. So we need certified consultant to implement SuccessFactors.
Sir?
Is that helps?
Yeah, I'm Tarunya, sir. I have a
Yes,
doubt.
yes,
Sir,
tell me.
one module with certification is good enough to get a job?
Yes. Now, see,
And
bigger organization. Now, if you are being hired for Employee Central, yes, Employee Central certification is must. Okay, and that's enough. Now, in small organizations or the bigger organizations like Deloitte, Accenture, and all, if you have to work on a project for Employee Central, you need to be certified in Employee Central. Now, if you have to be placed in PMGM or compensation module, you still need the certification in those areas as well. Before placing you in those projects, they will ask you to do the certification in those modules. Now, technically, if you are certified in one module, that's enough. You will still get the provisioning access. Once you get into provisioning, you can access anything, performance management, compensation, any of the modules. But why they ask for the module specific certification is you need to have an understanding what is to be enabled within compensation or within performance management, what is to be enabled, why each of the feature is important, what you should enable for your client, or why should you enable. Those things you should know. So they'll ask you for those certifications. Now you want to work in Employee Central certification will do. You have to do
okay.
certification. Yes.
And sorry for asking again. You said about the certification course cost and 6 attempts or something. Could you
Yes.
please repeat again?
Yeah. Now, if you want to do your certification, it's not like SAP that you have to go to for the training center and do the certification. No, you can do it from your home itself. You have to subscribe for the certification using training.sap.com/certification. I'll show you. That's part of course. Okay. Now you have to subscribe with your email ID. Once you subscribe, you will be given an ID, S user ID. We call it S user ID. Now the certification costs you 40,000, somewhere around 40,000, 39,000 plus taxes, which comes to 40 or 41,000. I'm not sure the exact amount because I've done it 5 years ago. Now it would be roughly 40 plus 40 or 41. Okay, once you subscribe, you'll get 6 attempts. Now you have to schedule your examination, and you can do the certification from your home itself. You need to have a good speed internet with the webcam. Okay, now proctor will be watching you throughout the exam. Examination time would be 3 hours. All the questions are multiple choice. All the 80 questions, you'll get 80 questions. I think it is now 2 hours. They have reduced it to 2 hours. Now it is 120 minutes, 80 questions. You have to answer all the 80 questions. 70% is the pass mark. That means if you get 56 answers correct, then that means you are passed, 56 or 57. Okay, 57th question. If you answer 57 of them correctly out of 80 questions, now you'll pass the certification. Immediately after completing your certification, after giving up the examination, you'll get your score, how many marks you got. Okay, now it's only you pass or fail. You only have two things, whether you are passed or fail. Even if you get 100% or 80% or 71%, you are just pass. Nowhere in your certification it is
Will be
mentioned that
mentioned the score. Okay.
yes, your score is not mentioned anywhere in the certificate, whether you pass or fail. Now this score you'll get immediately after your examination.
Okay.
It is online. You can do it online. Sitting at your home, you
So
can
one
do it.
small thing.
Yes.
I don't have much knowledge about this. I just want to clarify this. To be certified, I mean, if I'm going to attend it.
No. Can you come again? Your voice was breaking.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Who will be certifying me?
Who is certifying you?
Yeah.
Now you're subscribed with training.sap.com with your email ID.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are scheduling examination in training.sap.com. Once your examination is completed, once you're passed, you'll get certificate from SAP.
SAP. Okay. So direct. Okay.
Yes. You don't have to go anywhere. You'll get everything in your email.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Any more questions?
Yeah. Ravi, hi, Sriram here again. Yeah, I'm pretty much clear the process and all. So one question, in case in the first attempt, let's say if we clear EC, so will that give me an access, I mean the provision access to enter into PMGM modules, and where I can learn and clear up the other modules, or do I need an extra, I mean the same kind of trainings again to go to the other modules? Is there anything like that? So in case if I'm clear EC, so will that give me an access to provision to some link where I can go and read the other module data and I can give the attempts? Is that like that?
Now, provisioning will not give you any information. Provisioning access will just enable you to enable the features for your client. Okay, it won't give you any information.
Oh, okay.
To get certified, you need to have knowledge on that particular module. Either you go through the implementation guide. We have implementation guides for each and every module. Okay, so you need to go. It depends on module again. For Employee Central, it is somewhere around 340 plus, somewhere around 300 pages. So you need to go through that implementation guide. Now, if you have the basic understanding of SuccessFactors system, you can go through the instance. Now, instance access, what we generally give, you can access any module. Now,
Okay.
if you're taking up Employee Central course, now we'll give you demo access. Now, in this access, you can do anything, any module, PMGM, RCM, compensation, any module you can implement.
Okay, it's up to our interest. We can, if you want to extend, we can read it and get the knowledge on that as well.
Yes, yes. But at least if you have some basic knowledge of the system, yes, you go through the
Okay.
implementation guide and then understand what we have to do. In the implementation guide, it is explained clearly, each and every
Okay.
step. Okay, what you have to do. In some places you also have the screenshots. Each of the field. Now you go to one screen. What all fields do we have, and what is each field? What is the use of each of the field? So why should we configure? What can be configured in that field? So it explains in detail. So you have to go through the implementation guide for your certification. Any certification, EC, PM, GEM, Comp, LMS, if you are thorough with implementation guide, that's more than enough. You don't need anything. Now, 80 percentage or 90 percentage of your questions are straight away, the theoretical part, and some of them are scenario based, 15 to 20%. Some of them are scenario based, like if you have to configure workflows, or if you have to configure this feature, and this is your requirement, how will you configure? Again, even they are multiple choice. What would you choose? What will you configure? So that would be some of them would be scenario based.
Okay. So part of demo access, we can get access to this implementation guide as well for the 2 months once we join the course. Is that right?
Complete material, configuration workbooks, implementation guides, any material related to the success factors, I will be providing you. It is not my own material, it is success factors material. So the latest material, every quarter or every half yearly, success factors would be updating their implementation guides. So I'll download it and share it with you, the latest ones.
Okay. Yeah, that answers my question. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, once you log into the system, you can actually you can see all the modules, whatever modules that you see here, like performance, continuous performance, calibration, compensation, learning. You'll get access for each for all these modules. Learning, you may or may not, but all the other modules you'll get.
So this is nothing but the learning hub, right? Even learning hub, I hope maybe the name is same, right?
No,
Learning hub is different.
Learning hub is different, and the learning management system is different. Learning management is actually the trainings for the organization. Let's say my company has got policy of giving the training to their employees. Now, if you have technical people and I have to train them before getting into the job, so I will provide them the training, the required training in the LMS, the learning. Learning hub is different. Learning hub is again for the consultants. Now, if I have to learn any module other than employee central or any module, employee central, payroll, time off, any module, if you want to learn, if you have access to learning hub, again you can log into learning hub and learn those modules. Now your learning is also similar to your learning hub. I'll tell you in detail who gets the learning hub, what can we do in learning hub and all.
Ravi, Harish here.
Yes, go ahead, Harish.
Yeah, Ravi, in my previous organization, I worked on this SuccessFactors end user. When I'm working on recruitment, I used to create RRF for lateral hires and being a corporate HR, like any transactional events and all. If there is any bug arise, the SuccessFactors team will come and do something and do some. So, is there any coding involved when we are on the job, or it just only doing some pick list or drop downs or something?
Now, pick lists and drop downs, yes, we have those concept of pick lists for the drop downs. Now, other than that, coding, if I say coding, yes, we do have coding, that is XMLs. We have a concept called data models, where these data models are maintained in XML language. Again, you don't have to do anything from the scratch. You will have all the standard data models available in one of the portal, that is Partner Edge. You download it from your portal and upload it into the system. But you need to know, or you need to have an understanding, what does these XMLs contain, or what does these data models contain. If at all, if you have to change something or add something, how do we add it? So a minimum like
Okay.
5% or 10% of your implementation would be on the data models. Again, we'll have separate sessions for each of these data models. What does each data model
Okay.
contain? How do we, you don't need to have any coding knowledge, but still I'm pretty sure that you'll have a clear understanding of the XMLs after my session. You can download from the instance, or you can download from the provisioning these XMLs, and you can access this, or you can modify, or you can, after this session, if you have to create any field, or if you have to modify any of the XML, you'll be able to do that. That's my idea.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah. Any more doubts before you close up?
One question. So, what all topics?
What all topics?
Topic we will going to learn.
Yes. As I said, first 4 sessions will be completely be theoretical part. Why cloud? Why success factors? What is the role of success factors consultant? Okay. What is the implementation methodology that we'd be following? What are configuration workbooks? From where we have to download configuration workbooks? What do we do? Who will get access to configuration workbooks? What is the use of configuration workbooks? Okay. Now, if you're stuck up with the implementation, which from where can I get, or from where we'll get the help? Okay. Or if there is any bug in the system, how to report those bugs? Okay, how before reporting the bug, is there any is it a configuration issue, or is it the bug in the system itself? So we need to analyze it. From where do we analyze it? How do you analyze it? So all these things we'll see in the first 2 or 3 sessions. Okay, and the 4th session onwards, we'll be moving to the system. We'll see provisioning settings. So you will not get provisioning access. As I said, provisioning access will only you'll only get provisioning access if you are a certified consultant. So we will see what do we do in provisioning, what we have to enable in provisioning, or what we have to disable in provisioning, and what are the features available for Employee Central in provisioning. That we'll see. And after provisioning settings, we'll be moving to instance, how to enable the instance, how to log into instance. Now, what is the navigation that we have to follow? What is the home page? How to configure the home page? Now you see the to-do list, like whatever request that you have, you will be going to do. What is a to-do? Password and policy login settings. Every application that we access now, be it Gmail or any application that you see. So when you log in, you'll be logging in with your user ID and password. Now the password, sometimes, or some URLs or some applications will say that you need to have a minimum of 8 characters or minimum of 4 characters, and the password should not contain your name, or password should contain capital letters and small letters, or a combination of alphabets and numerics, or special characters. So all these settings can also be done in SuccessFactors. Okay, that's the initial setup. So we'll see password policy and login settings. Now we'll get into the configuration from the XMLs. So we'll discuss about data models, the types of data models, or how many data models that we have, or the XMLs. What do we do in XML? How to set up the XMLs files? So that we'll see. We have total 7 data models, so we'll be discussing about all these 7 data models, and from there on we'll get into the complete instance setup. That is starting from configuring of foundation objects, or MDF objects, or pick list center, or all the objects that are required for the employees. Okay, now personalizing the instance. Now we can also do the manual maintenance in the system, or we can also import the data into system. So how do we import the data, be it an object or an employee data? Okay, so how do we hire an employee, or how do you import the employee. Now you have bulk objects to be loaded. Let's say I have to create thousands of positions. I cannot manually do it in the system. So I have to have the import functionality. So how to import the positions, or how to import any objects, and how to import employees. Now if you have to hire 100 employees, it is not possible to hire each and every employee manually. So instead, you can have the data in Excel and load it into the system. So how to import the employees into system. Once the data is imported, how to export the data from system, or how to extract the data, that we'll see. Personalizing the instance, each and every client will have their own logo and their own themes to be set up. Now the instance can be set up in their theme. Now what you see here is a blue or gray color. Now client may say that I want to have my own logo, and I don't want logo in the center of the page. I want to have on the right hand side corner or left hand side corner, and I want to have a background of my own theme, like a green color or a red color or a picture. So we can do those things, and that we'll discuss in the personalizing the instance. How to configure the org charts, how to configure the position org chart, how to configure business rules, workflows. So I'll be sharing you this content, course content. Each of them, what we have in this content will be discussed. That's a gist of what we cover in the course, as part of course. Right. RBP is also part of it. RBP is nothing but the role-based permissions. Permissions means access. What access will employee have? What access will HR have? Or what access will manager will have? Everybody logs into the same instance, but everybody sees a different data. So how to maintain that, or how to give control of that? That we'll see in permissions. Any other doubts?
Yeah, Ravi, one question.
Yes, go ahead.
So these all will be finished in 19 sessions, right? So
20.
19 sessions means it will be,
It goes
sorry,
on,
yeah.
like sometimes it goes on 25 sessions, 25, 26. Sometimes it goes to 30 or so. See,
Okay.
practically, if
So
I
it will be
explain, yes,
working days, you meant to say, right?
yes,
25 days we will finish these things.
yes, not 25 days. So if it is 5 days a week or 6 days a week, it takes more than a month.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
25 sessions, but it may extend up to 30, depending on your doubts. If you don't have any doubts every day, then we can complete in 25 sessions. You have doubts, you want me to explain it again? Yes, I do that. See, end of the day, you should learn properly. When you're spending some time and money, you have to learn it properly. So you practice. You have to practice. We have to have a commitment of at least 2 to 3 hours every day. 1 hour of session that you have to attend, and minimum of 2 hours you need to practice. Okay, 1 month while training and 1 month after the training, if you practice and if you follow the notes that I give, that's more than enough. I'll give you assurance that you'll definitely crack the interview. Each and every class that we discuss, each and every topic that we discuss, wherever there are possibilities of the interview questions, okay, I'll explain you what they will ask you or how you have to answer. Got it, Atik?
Yes, Ravi. Yeah, got it. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks.
Okay, if you don't have any questions, we'll wind up this session.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for
Bye.
your time. Yeah, bye.